The fuck? Right. Welcome to the Fight the Funk podcast. This is a live streamed taping. It is January 1st, 2021, and it's going down in town. So, this podcast focuses on mental health, current events, the world around us, and any feedback, whatever you want to put out there, send it in the chats. And I'm excited for this. Yes, I am. All right. And there will be this year, there's going to be some dope guests. We're going to get into a few topics of mental health and setting goals and then pretty much figuring out what we got to figure out to live a healthy and productive life. So yeah, let's go and figure this out. So first off, man, I want to broach a interesting thought of as I get hit up, um, like comedy, acting, and sports. For me, those all three of those have been passions and fun. Um, but there's still a part of me where it just kind of gnaws at me. If you want to, like, I had a conversation with a comedian after I did an event this past year, recently past year, and he was like, if you can do comedy, if you make people laugh, then that's like a duty. And it's like, yeah, I feel that, but also like we have a legacy of some of the heaviest hitters in the comedy game who make people laugh, and it's like and they've talked about the real things that go on in the black neighborhood, and they've made people laugh like for decades, man. And part of me feels like if you make people laugh and you got jokes and it's like, yeah, and you like Richard Pryor, like, is it okay if we break a nigga? Like, is that okay? And it's like you got all these jokes where for decades and years, like you've heard comics tell the truth on the stage, and in a lot of ways, I feel like it just allowed people to laugh and normalize it, normalize the abuses that go on in Black society, normalizes the abuses that go on where it was like the healthcare situation is like so. So for me, I think the challenge is for entertainers and athletes is how do you do the things that you do, but also not allow general society to normalize the issues and the ills of society. So I think to me that's it's so important that it just doesn't go to business as usual. It's like, yeah, I'll make y'all laugh about such and such, the shootout that just happened, and we're not gonna do anything about it, so we're just gonna start laughing about it again. It's like, to me, that's not progress. It's not enough to just say, don't worry, be happy. It's like, is we all got to do our part and continue to do our part, because I feel like happiness is it's in every situation. I, I I heard people who knew, of, of of Malcolm X, and it's like, this dude was funny behind the scenes. Like, the motherfucker had jokes. So I don't think it's a matter of being happy. I think a lot of that is kind of pretending. Like, are we gonna go back to pretending and forcing happiness? I'm not interested in that. And I hope nobody else is interested in just pretending to be happy. And it reminds me of times where, I think in corporate world, or auditioning, are just aspects of life where, you want to present yourself, and to some degree, you shouldn't wear your heart on your sleeve. You shouldn't put like, oh, I just fucking spilled all my coffee on all over me, and stepped in the puddle, and now I'm walking into the office with that funk, with that stank. It's like, yeah, you don't want to bring that energy into a workroom. But when it comes to the ills of society, when it comes to knowing that Black children are still being mistreated, and their lives being taken unnecessarily, is like, there still has to be, platforms and conventions, and and room to speak about it in the different places, people may be working in. There still has to be those provide time where it's like, yo, we need to talk about this. If we pretend, then it's gonna drive everything back to unhealthy levels of pushing that shit down. And if you make it individualized, then it's still gonna be like, back to levels of where people are pretending like they're all right. And then something comes ahead, and it's like, oh shit, motherfucking Bartholomew wasn't all right. And it's like, we don't want Bartholomew to be, it's like, Bartholomew, if he commuting 3 hours to go to work, and his cousin got locked up over some crap, it's like, because the place he worked, if he got to shut up and just toe the line, is like, that's not a healthy situation. And it's like, to figure out how to, I think, the implementing, like, what does social justice look like moving forward? Because everybody want to wild out, everybody want to go and have fun and live life. And it's like, what does that look like in still pushing for progress? And I read, somebody did a comment where it's like, well, Black Lives Matter was in 2020, and this is 2021. This year, all lives matter. And I was like, bro, really? Like, that's how we? That's the statement. That's the statement you making. Like, all like, because of 2021, all lives matter now. Is that what's going down? That's the move. Um, I just started laughing, man. Like, cause it's wacky to me. It's like, you just made a statement, but can you stop all or is that statement gonna stop the hate crimes that this current administration has stirred up, and also the amount of hate crimes that came out of the previous administration? Is like, if you can do that, if all lives matter, man, and then you can make that statement, and it made hate crimes cease to exist, then I'll be like, I'm all for it, dog. Hey, man, all lives matter. You made it happen. I don't know how you stopped these hate crimes, but you that dude. Like, it's like, we all want all lives to matter, and it's just rhetoric, man. It's like, yo, if that's gonna stop hate crimes, then yeah, we all for it. We don't care about what the phrases are. We just want people to stop dying in the streets. While another dude in Nashville makes a bomb, like our standards are so low. Like Black Lives Matter is about raising the standards of civility, and well-being for everybody. Um, so that was goofy. That was just goofy shit I had to put out there. This Black Lives Matter was last year. This year is all lives matter. Like, stop, dude. You goofy, man. You goofy. Um, let's see. So this podcast, man, is about focusing on mental health, and I don't think you can have a real like outlook on your year and what you're trying to accomplish in this year, all the great things that you can do, that you can be, and that you can get done. And I think it's like what allows you to sustain that is what's that slice of the pie, what's going to be the mental health part of it. So you can sustain the goals. Like say you want to go to Italy in 6 months or 8 months, but you don't ever travel. It's like, all right, so how do you make that goal realistic? Like, how do you make going to Italy come into fruition for yourself, and break through the mental hurdle of actually going to Italy? I think because that's where we get a goal, and it's a pure thought, a pure vision. Bam, I see myself in Italy laid up. And I don't know what laying up in Italy looks like, but I could call a friend and find out. But it's like, but you see yourself there for whatever reason, boom, Italy popped in your head, or you've been wanting to go there for years. And it's like that becomes the okay, now reverse engineer that. Find out what's going to be that imaginary thing that holds you back from going to Italy, right? So if you never travel, then that's going to be the first hurdle, where it's like, shit, I ain't never gone nowhere, but I know I want to go to Italy and shit. And then so maybe it's like the first step is just taking the calendar and putting Italy on the calendar 6 months from now. Boom, I'm going to Italy on this date. Do you have enough money? If you do, then buy the ticket. Like, I feel like the best way, what helped me travel was like where I just bought the ticket. Like, it's like, all right, I want to go to Hawaii. It took me 10 years to make the do it. So, and it was like buying that ticket, put it on a calendar and buying that ticket. It's like it made it real. So if you have a goal, how do you make it real? I think that's the most important thing, is to find you got the passion and want to be there, in the where your current situation, you got the vision, like Italy, and then so the goals, there's the short-term goals and the long-term goals of going to Italy. The short term, putting it on the calendar. If you got the money, buying the ticket. And then the long term goals, it may be buying a little book on Italy, and then finding starting to build a little connection, following people who live in Italy, and following travelers who know how to make the best out of an Italy trip. So it's about making finding ways to make the goal a reality. I think that's the most important. And or else it'll just stay, or else you'll lose hope after a few weeks. I wasn't gonna go to Italy, man. I just said it. It's like that's what it turns into if real steps aren't taken to make it happen. Because it's possible, but it's that invisible resistance that you have towards going somewhere, towards doing something you've never done before. And I feel like that's where you really need people who have done it before as well. Like, say if you want to go to Italy, it's like a great thing you can do is find somebody who's going to Italy and be like, "Hey, dog, I'm trying to go to Italy. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing." And then they can laugh at you and be like, "All right, man, let me school you on this on this Italy tip, dog." It's like then it becomes a thing where they can help you make it real. And I think a lot of our goals, if we haven't done it before, is just these exciting things, and it's a fantasy, but it also can be a reality. But we need the help of people that can help make it a reality. And I think that becomes the most important aspects of cause if we're stuck in ourselves, then it's a lot harder to make things a reality. But if you have people where it's like if you have that, you reach out, you find a few people that have gone to Italy. Now that shit becomes a reality because these people just go. There is no resistance. They have that neurological link to going to Italy, so it's nothing for them. So you want to be around. You want to find those connections with people where whatever your goal is, they have a fluid connection with that goal. There's no resistance that you may have because you've never done it before. Um, it's like, and that's that's kind of like the to me a mental health tip on how to make goals a reality, how to take your passion for what gives you life, what makes you excited, some that is like, man, I gotta go do that. Um, is little keys out there that help you accomplish it, and then it's like you have um, and then it brings you closer to the vision, right? So if you go to Italy now, you got that under your belt. It's like hell yeah, man. You know what? I want to be a world traveler. And it's like after Italy, you can start building towards being a world traveler. And it came from that one trip to Italy. So it's like that's kind of how it all works. Where it's like you have these small goals. Where it's like Italy was just putting your circling a few dates that you're gonna do it. Um, it became you looking up a few people that kind of have similar backgrounds as you, and they're in Italy and they know how to do the Italy thing, and you reach out, and they say, "Oh yeah, no problem, man. That's how you do it." And then and you buy that ticket, and you go out there, and then it leads to like world traveling status, and that trip leads to other trips, and now you've broken through that resistance of traveling. And I think that's huge for people of color, and for poor white folks, for everybody who's working class, really. Because I think one of the things with Americans is like we do not travel whatsoever, and that's why we so dependent on the news or what people tell us the world is, which is so unhealthy. Because like at some point you gotta see the shit for yourself, man. And like this, it's the whole dictation. Like when people are always in positions of having information dictated to you. Um, to me, that's when shit gets wonky. Like with religion, it's like you have radical, like the negative connotation of radical is because other people who just wants control and power, they're able to dictate to a group of people what the religion is about. And rather than these people experiencing it for themselves and practicing the religion and then like, oh, wait a minute, this is what it means for myself, and empower themselves. And it still is a collective, but it's like there's a more of a richness of understanding, and oh, we all practicing this shit, man. No one person is dictating it to us. Um, and I think that's the importance of seeing the world in studying all like the history of everything for yourself. Um, and it's cool. You gonna have a few people that you like and that you can get wisdom from. But it's still at the end of the day, it has to be a variation of people, and experiences. So so yeah, mental health tips for goals that are people are setting for this year. Um, and this segment is brought to you by the cheap, bubbly, sparkling water. Because, yeah. Oh, man. All right. So, once again, it's Fight the Funk podcast, focus on mental health, current events, and the world around us. And there will be some dope ass guests this year that I am looking forward to, and that make me think, and hopefully make the listeners think. And I know there's some people listening that's like, this is dope, so it's like I'm excited for what's to come. And the next thing I'm gonna talk about is um, I touched on it briefly, but the whole performing aspect of Black life, because it's like we kill the game when it comes to sports and entertainment and acting and comedy. And it's like, man, I remember that moment where LeBron James was like gonna go on strike, or wasn't going, like, the whole team wasn't gonna play again or something last year. And then he got talked into playing by President Obama, former president, 44. And and it's kind of just made me think, because we don't want to go back to a place of shut up and dribble kind of deal, and you want to keep pushing progress on every level. Um, and I think it is a sense of not going back to just getting on stages and making people laugh about the this dude. Man, the dog be just snoring and shit behind me. But but yeah, man, I think it's important to really key in on what that looks like, man. Because every, like, it's the talent is one thing, but it's like you ain't trying to just make everything into a joke, or make everything funny, or make everything like, oh man, he just dunked all over this dude, and this motherfucker's brilliant. And it's like, or like Iverson, where it's like, this dude is dope, crossing, and he acting a fool, and they're like, yeah, his best friend just died, huh? Hey, I don't, hey man, crazy. Hey, but dude, see what the game, no man, the game was crazy. It's like, that was the kind of things where it's like, it's to keep the humanity in the athletes, in the actors, in the sports, it's in the comedians, even the politicians that you elect, and that you hope that and you fight for, and they fight for you. It's like, they're human at the end of the day still. So it's like, their adversaries are human as well. So it's still that sense of, um, people can only do so much, and also people can only take so much. And I think that's another thing with dehumanizing um, Black America, is where it's like you have um, the like, what are the football stat things where people, what is it called? Oh man, where you get to pick your team, fantasy football. You have fantasy football and stuff like that. And you remember, like, these athletes be pissed where it's like, motherfucker, I just broke my leg, and you just, like, it's nothing, just discard me and be like, oh well, yeah, such and such. Benny, he just broke his leg, man. I can't. What can you do with him, man? He just, and it's like, motherfucker, I'm in pain. Like, that the bone is broke. Like, I'm laid up in a hospital bed, dog. Do you not understand? I'm a human being playing a sport, and I feel like that's part of the disconnect from the average person, and it's like, we don't understand it's like you see somebody play a sport, or you see somebody on the stage, or your dude doing your taxes, or the woman doing your taxes. Like we got a human. It's the sense of humanizing the people that work in our that entertain us, that pack our groceries, that check us when we're sick, that are on front line in Skid Row, or the unhoused. Is like it's a whole lot of just humanizing each other. Where it's like, oh man, like I know you must be going through it. Just little stuff like that. Like man, this athlete, he a millionaire or whatever, but that motherfucker go home and he just a dude, um, like anybody else. His kids don't see an athlete. His kids just see a dad who is tired, who feet hurt, um, who probably, you know, got to take out the trash, um, who probably cranky. It's like the people, man, the people. And I think that's part of that, working on ourselves not to idolize people so much. Where it's like, um, we gotta is valuing ourselves, and also, if even politicians, man, it's like, fight for them, because they are people, and because it's like you gotta still do your part to make sure, and like, yo, shit needs to change. But if you start tuning out again, like, shit, all right, I voted my person in, chop chop chop, I'm done. They'll fix, or they'll do, and they won't be able to do it. The deck is still stacked against them. So the only way to keep pushing is to still be like, yo, I need this person to succeed. Like just like you have a Koch brothers, if you've done your homework, is like they were hell bent on their people succeeding, and they did. Like they replaced the whole Republican Party down there. So it's like, so you have to have the same obsession. Like, yo, I'm gonna go to Italy. I'm gonna be a world traveler, but I also got to make sure that this that the new and that the person I voted in and worked my ass off to get in office, that I need to, for them to be successful. I know I need to still be paying attention, and still be working, still be sending letters or emails, however you did it before. There still have to be time allotted for that. Like, you can be in Italy and still be like, this motherfucker did what? Oh hell no. Nah. And then, send your little donation to your local government official or something, or call your senator and be like, hey man, we need this to pass. This whole homeless housing, and then the houseless, is like, we need this to pass. Like I want this has to pass. We got to actually find permanent solutions to fixing these problems. And we have good Samaritans. We have good people that mean well, and they on the ground. They giving food. They showing up. They giving the hygienic kits. But we need housing. We need mental health facilities, better facilities for these homeless. It's like, so you have to keep that consistent pressure on your elected officials for anything to pass, for progress to continue to be made. Because the people that don't want anything to change, they're obsessed. They're obsessed that it doesn't change. And I feel like the people that mean well, and the sensible people, they're the first people to tune out, because it's like you're not obsessive. Like, I know I'm not obsessive, so it's like I'll have to remind myself to look again. It's like, um, I don't want to read the news every day. I don't want to see what's latest in Congress, or what the president is or isn't doing, or what my local officials are not doing. Like man, I just want to be in the backyard, or fucking on a hiking trail, and that could be the extent of my day. But I know that doesn't help other people. That doesn't contribute to anybody else. For people who grew up like me, or people who are going through more severe situations than me, than I ever imagined, is like, I gotta still do my part. It doesn't have to be on levels of obsession, but it does have to be a level of I gotta do my part so people can have the same opportunity that I've had, or that I've continued to have, to live a life that is relatively good, or relatively proud. It's like I can be happy where I'm at and still know I have to work for a lot more. It's like still do my part and do what I need to get done, um, and also keep pushing with the things that are part of what makes society ill. Um, I feel like that's being a citizen of your own country, and not in knowing that people are going to make decisions that are going to affect you, whether you participate or not. So there's no protest. Like I'm gonna protest by never reading a single story or never paying attention to the government because they're all full of shit. It's like, nah, you just saying you full of shit. Like if that's the statement, then it really is just you full of shit. Because if you're not joining the people who are fighting for you, then you actually aren't fighting for anything. Um, I went off topic. It started with talking about comic and acting and sports. Um, but all that to say, man, is you don't want people to go back to that place of normalizing things that shouldn't be normal. And I feel like that's when you get to a place where you get to a place like this year or last year where we've normalized so much, and then the shit hits the fan, and like this is shit ain't normal, man. It's like that's what last year was all about. Like we realized the way government functions is not healthy. It's not able to adjust when times demand for it. And it's still unable to adjust. It's still unable to make the it's like a old um, basketball player that can't stay in front of the person they defending. It's like this virus is like just fucking like this virus is like fucking the best point guard in the game with handles, and it's just shaking. It's like Shaq. Like our government is like Shaq trying to guard trying to guard a point guard currently. Like the Shaq today is trying to guard somebody that's in the game, like just on in their prime. It's like that's like COVID just shaking and fucking like crossing Shaq up, and he's like, it's like that's our government, man. It's like they is the response time is so lagged and dysfunctional. It's like you need fresher, you need people that understand, like there's a not even understand because they know what they're doing, but it's like you need people that are more connected with real life and what people are going through on a daily basis. um and so transitioning to today is the seventh day of Kwanzaa. um and today is faith in self, in God, and in community, um, in the world, in the universe, and I feel like it's important because I feel like there's a lot of people who got through last year because of faith, without knowing what was next, and I feel like there's so much of uh, where your vision gets mucked up, like where you can't see the future. So there's a lot of so you get that temporary blindness where it's like I can kind of see it, but I'm in a blizzard and I can't really, but I know it's there. I know I want to get to Italy, and it's like, but it's all and it's like it's just faith that this right here at some point is gonna go. And I think that's what's important, and I think that's what grounds people if if you can just trust that at some point this is not going to be there. And maybe, you start being able to see better, where it's like, all right, I can see the pattern that if I eat better, it slows down. That if I drink more water, it slows down. That if I get a therapist, it slows down. That if I do a support group, I kind of move it to the side and I can see more. If I start talking to people on the phone more, it starts disappearing a little bit. It's like if I get involved in stuff that matters, it starts adjusting. So it's like the more changes, I kind of approach life where is it's a series of experiments with yourself and trying to figure out how to unlock all the best elements of yourself. All the get always trying to get to the best version of yourself, and it's just like all this is like deep dive and just I don't know what the fuck is that. Whatever, I don't like that, but it's like you're always trying to get to the deepest and the realest version of yourself. And to me, that's the journey, and that's where you continue to find faith in what you're doing. And you don't need it now, man. And I think that's the thing with social media, and and it's like on one part you're supposed to, everything is a now microwave. It's the microwave. We living in that kind of place where everybody's a critic. Every performance is supposed to be worldwide and world class day one. Um, every baller is supposed to be dope by the first time you see them. Um, every performer is supposed to be always on the mark. Uh, it's like all these things where it's like that's not human. That's not um, like we create these unrealistic um, ways of that we it's like there's discipline and there's standards, but there's also humanity, where it's like we are also better when we're not trying to do so much and put so much out there and prove so much. It's like a lot of times it's just really getting to the more wise and the more brilliant parts of yourself. In a lot of ways, just taking a step back and breathing. It's like our culture, we all be better off. We value like breathing, taking taking a step back, just breathe for a second. Shit. Um, I think that's just as important, to just not be so like it gotta happen now. It gotta, um, or or it's like if you don't, if like even with dating, it's like you don't hear back now, it's over. I ain't talking to him again. I didn't hear back in 5 minutes. Um, like everything is trying to get away from that now. Like shit still needs to happen. Like our government, like there is shit where it's like, yo, now you guys have botched things all year. Like if there's a regular, if the government was a regular job, like Mitch McConnell would still need to be fired like day one. Day one of this year, like just walking papers, like grab your box, put your plan in there, put your little snow globe, put that little thing, that click clack thing, that thing that be click clacking and shit. Like grab that, put that in the box too, Mitch. Like that's a real accountability, would be replacing people that botched last year, and to real have real standards. Like people would have to get fired. People have to have accountability, and be like, yo, I botched it, I messed up. Um, like imagine if getting off topic, but imagine if one of your members, imagine Mitch McConnell like, yeah, I fucked up. Like I fucked up all year. It's like that's the kind of humanity where it's like, okay, I still don't believe anything you as a politician. I think you're still an awful human being as far as what decisions you make. I don't know personally, but in office, you make horrible decisions for the people. But just to hear just to hear that, I'd be like, yeah, I fucked up. I fucked up a lot. I messed everybody up. You know what? I'm sorry. Like the last 7, 8 years, I've been just botching and not, bringing stuff to the people. It's just the people in my ear. They telling me, man. They're just telling me to. I think I'm 20. I got 20 million, man. I got 20 million. Like, how do you think I got 20 million, man? And then my wife, she's a millionaire, and it's like, so I got pressure on me to deliver more millions to the people that are help me get my millions. Like, so just to hear that, it's just like, all right, man, you sleazeball, but thanks for being honest. But back to private chat. What's this? Oh, all right, but last day of Kwanzaa, man. And I hope people have gotten out of last year like more faith in themselves and in their family and what God is for them. Um, because we like that was 5 years. That was 5 years put into 1 year. Actually, the first 6 months was the first 5 years. So that was actually like 10 years put into 1 year. So I really, besides like, I did that shit. Um, it is a sense of of of, of allowing last year to strengthen your faith in yourself, in humanity as well. Cause like you saw people fight for what they believe in for the first time. Like that shit was dope. That's I feel like, to me, that's what's dope about last year is you saw people fight for what they believe in. And that's something you can build on. Like that's timeless. Like, oh man, you fought for that. Like that, you went all in. Um, you were willing you were willing to put yourself out there in ways. The kids who put things together and they went out there. Um, the adults who went out there and made stuff happen, man. Um, it's like that's something that builds your faith in yourself and in your neighbors and in humanity. And there's still gonna be assholes and dicks and people that just won't understand what you're doing and why you're doing it. But it's like I feel like it becomes a thing where it's like it becomes something special for yourself, for your family, for your community, for your state, for your country. It's like what you are about, what you're doing, it's like it's special, man. And to me, that's where the faith has only been strengthened. If you fought the good fight, if you told the people that you loved them, um, if you lost the loved ones, and you still found ways to see the hope and to build on their legacy. Like that shit is special, man. It's special. And I think that's where, to me, when I think of Kwanzaa and tonight, where it's like, or today, where the last thing is faith. There is a strengthened faith in people. Um, and, some people hard heads, man. Some people you just gotta be like, man, which like there's never been a time where people existed where you didn't have that percentage where you're just like, I can't do nothing with that. Like, I think that's always gonna be there. If you think about any period, no matter when your heroes lived, no matter when your heroes fought for a better world, it's like there was always those people who existed that just couldn't see it. There's always those people that existed that were just like, well, if it was really true, and then, well, why we even try? Well, why should we even do this? Well, why is it? Why? It's like, man, just get your hands dirty, dog. Like, the pessimism does nothing with nobody. Um, and that's where it's like I have faith in people. Like we are better than our circumstances, and I feel like the more we embrace the deeper meaning to our purpose in life, um, the more the people who are not able to click in or lock in to that degree, it's okay, man. It's like shit ain't for everybody. Like I would hope to God nobody's jealous of me or hate. You know, hate on me is like, dog, you don't want to inherit this shit. Like you don't want this stress, dog. You don't want this. Cause like I know what I'm getting into. You know, it's like I know the workload I ask for, the workload I demand, the work I look forward to, and it's like and it's something not to look. You know, if you ain't about that life, is like just be grateful that you love to go to the beach and hang out. It's like cause and don't, you know, it's like this shit ain't for everybody. I don't know why I'm built how I'm built, but it's how I'm built. Uh social so yeah, I'm trying to figure out this. But so faith, man. Um that brings me to the situation. I didn't want to talk about it, but I will. I really hope this is like recorded so I can repost this and get this on. I gotta stop talking out loud. That's so the thing. I think the thing is about with comedy is you learn when you're on stage that if you make commentary about things as you're seeing it, and then if if you create two threads of dialogue, like you can find more humor doing that. So it's like I can talk about faith, and then if I acknowledge something like, oh man, the my tabs are all crooked and shit, it's like I know for myself that that's a way to find humor. But it's a style that I don't think people understand if they haven't been on stages and open mics and trying to mine for what's funny in the room or what's funny about the little note they scribbled down. So it's like that comedy trend, that comedy uh, muscle always working. Like, where's the humor at though? Like, yeah, this is cool, but yo, where that humor at, son? Where that humor at, son? Um, which I'm grateful for comedy, man, because I wouldn't be able to do these rants to it's like to me it's like being at an open mic where everybody's back is to you. It's like I can do this all day and it's no problem because I'm just um I think this is easier than being in a dive bar where everybody's back turned to you. So it's like this is easy just to record some stuff into a mic, but I hope it records so I can put this on my Anchor podcast. All right. So I'm gonna close it out. This is a Fight the Funk podcast, focused on mental health, current events, the world around us, and I just want to talk about the last thing is the dude who showed up at what's his name? He showed up at the LA. I don't even know if he made it. I hope he didn't. That don't make no sense. But our response to the evangelical Christian singer Sean Foots fit anti-mass protests in Skid Row and other parts of LA. I think what makes it disturbing, man, is unnecessary. Like, what are you? To me, it's like, what are you? What was that for? Like, what are you forcing? Like, what are you going to accomplish by showing up at Skid Row, with the with the, with your own agenda, like while people been working there all year, busting their ass, and they're exhausted at this point. Like, they're tired, man. They don't need a fucking somebody. We gonna show up and play music and sing about the Lord. It's like, bruh, they tired, man. Like, the people tired that's been on the front line. The unhoused people are tired. Like, yo, you coming with some different meals or something? You coming with some more blankets? Like, there's a way to do that where it's not some big grand spectacle. And I think that's a lot of this, to me, what makes, there's a lot with theatrical and spectacle of religion that has been so ingrained in practice, whereas, like, why can't we just be practice religious, practice what we believe and be real about it. Why does it come that need to feel like it got to be a spectacle? Everybody need to know about it. To me, it tarnishes, it takes away from the very thing you set out to do. Like the CEO, the person that works at the LA mission, it's like, this dude, he working his ass off. He not trying to, like, look at, here I am. I'm at the LA mission. Yeah, where my unhoused people at? Whoop whoop. Where my unhoused people at? Say something. Say something, unhoused. Say something. It's like, it's wacky to me, man. If you really trying to help and really trying to up their spirits, then why wouldn't you call the head of the LA mission and be like, hey man, I really want to do something for you guys. I really want to, help out any way I can, and be there. What works for you guys? What makes sense? And and I want to play my music, man. I believe my music is healing. It came, the Lord, and I want to sing, and it's like, how can I do that in a way that makes sense, man? And it's like, allow the person that's been there, man. Allow the person that's been in the trenches to be like, you know what? I love that. Let's figure something out for this year, for 2021. Like, we trying to turn the corner with this COVID. Give us a sec. Like, give us a few months, man. It's like, okay, cool, man. I just want to thank you. I just want to really, okay. And it's like, or it's like, you know what? I love the idea with the music. That's dope. What's his name again? Um, Or it could be like, I love the idea, Shine, with the music, and I hear you guys are doing things in Reading. We appreciate that. Why don't we do like some online videotape thing? We could play it to like the people in the kitchen, and then have some little setup for the outside. Like, that would probably work. It's like, work with the people, man. Like, what the hell? To me, it just feels like an ego, kind of ego spectacle, um, campaign, kind of like this is it's like a slick battle of ideology. It's like, it's a slick battle of trying to prove that you're the right, that this is the way to do it. The non-maskers is like, it's wacky, man. It's just wacky. Um, and that's why I feel like if it was really about the homeless people, I really, like, that same dude, like Sean, when this pandemic ends, man, like, I really hope they still, are about that life when it comes to creating and helping the city, helping the state, find the budget, and pushing and fighting for the budget to actually house homeless people. Because to me is like that's the long game. Like that's to actually do something meaningful. They can hear music all day. Like they still got phones. They still have access to shit. It's like they can access music, and then you assuming they want to hear your music. Like it's just there's a lot to unpack in that situation yesterday, that I really didn't even feel like I was like, well, just it's something else, man. Let's just get out of this year. I'm not even like it's so many things. At some point, you just like, dude, play the guitar, man, sing, just stop. Like you just making things, you add into people's exhaustion. That's all you're doing. Um, and I'm glad how the leader of the mission. I'm glad how gracious and very diplomatic and stuff, of the aggravation that would cause, and because it do feel like you just trying to build your own platform, man. And you ran for office. That says a lot. Somebody that just ran for office and lost, and you a Republican ticket. And it's like, so now you're gonna come to LA with this grand gesture and play your music and uplift spirits, and then you can use that, in the next like whatever campaign thing. Like, yeah, we went to LA and we played and inspired. It's like, what's the point of that, man? Um, so my thing, man, is like there's a reason why, if if you believe in righteousness, if you believe in doing the to me, what it's really about the people and it's not about ego. It's like you have no problem walking away. You have no problem like working in the background. You have no problem working off the grid. You have no problem like not being, look at that, hey, look at me, I'm on so whatever. It's like if it's really not about, um the spectacle of religion, or the theatricalness of it. So if it's really about the people and really about God and helping people, then you don't need to to make these big spectacular, things. It's like it's okay if nobody knows that you're gonna be trying to work with the LA mission. It's okay that there's no big, like, I gotta make sure all the people I've been talking to and they're rallying around me. I gotta make sure they all know that I'm going to the mission and we're gonna do this big thing and push against people that there's no reason to push against them, because they're just working with homeless people and they're trying to feed and not get sick themselves, or not bring COVID to their families. And then you bring your people from another region where COVID is a cluster virus, and that's how it's most effective when it comes to making people sick. And you're changing regions, and you having this group, your group, you're bringing your group into this group, and now you've created the perfect storm of cluster of this perfect storm for this cluster virus to have an effect. So it's like, what is that? Like, how is that following in the footsteps of God? Like, how? Like, that's the part that it doesn't make sense. It's like, what are you doing? It's like that's the part where I feel like with religion, people do some off the wall or kind of messed up shit, and sometimes just completely fucked up. This is not the case, but sometimes completely fucked up shit in the name of religion. When it's like you're not even listening to the stuff that you're supposed to be living by. Um, and to me, it's like, reading Thich Nhat Hanh's book, Living Buddha, Living Christ. It's the same thing where it's like he goes into the same situation where it's like, yo, we all are under God. Is if you start identifying, and one is the one, is like now you're gonna get into that situation where it's polarized into the point where you're going to get blinded by the different realities people are living. Um, and sometimes I just want to question like the why people are doing what they're doing. Like not the on the surface response, but the real heart of the why are you doing this? Shine, why are you doing this? Why now? Why do you make this big gesture out of and it's forced and it's so forced? It's like why wouldn't you call the leaders who's been down there? Why wouldn't you do it a way that protects the health and safety of your people, of the people in Skid Row? Why wouldn't you learn more about the situation before you just go down there? So it just to me it just makes me just say why a lot of whys. um, so I'm gonna close out Kwanzaa, man, seventh day faith. I really hope people have found more faith in themselves, empowered themselves, um, found the God that they feel. It's like found God within and how to practice what they believe, how to practice to be to be a child of God. It's like how to that's a practice. It's not about memorization of verses. Like it's about how can I best help people suffering, help people going through it, and doing it in a way that makes sense, man. It's like not imposing yourself or forcing yourself upon people, but really like understanding, reading the room, reading the situation. Like, okay, I'm not needed here. Then let me not force myself here. Let me be where I'm needed. Um, so I do hope, man, that people are building on this year, and making 2021 a special year. Like, and it's still gonna be losses. It's still gonna be some pain, but it can also be a lot of joy, a lot of accomplishments, and a lot of fucking laughter, man. A lot of jokes, son. Uh, so this is a test run of the Fight the Funk podcast live stream. And once again, this is focused on mental health, current situations, current events in the world around us. And I am the host, Magic Collins, with two A's. So I don't know why I said two A's. I don't know why I said it like that. But you guys have a good night. And also, find some joy, man. Let's have some fun, pop some bottles, like just take a moment. If you healthy and you feeling like you've been working your ass off, I ain't talking about people that always party and always looking for the party and shit. This is not for you guys, but people that just be working, it's like, man, just a little side popping bottle, just pop a bottle on the side, just find a moment. You a nurse, if you a social worker, if you are one of the people working in Skid Row, man, just do something for yourself, man. If you a first responders, like just find ways to find some joy, to laugh at something, um, laugh at that Baby Yoda who's not Baby Yoda actually, and everybody thought he was Baby Yoda. But yeah, man, laugh at your dog. Whatever, find some time to laugh. All right. This has been Fight the Funk podcast. I've been the host, Magic Collins, on a late night, and then Black Eyed Peas are about to get taken down. All right. Deuces.